Hi there everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Prestige Liquids. My name is Andrew, and as always it is fantastic to have you here with me again on another whiskey review video. So today, as I mentioned, this is a whiskey review video. I'm going back to Scotland and I have for you the Aberlour 12. Now, the Aberlour 12 is a Highland single malt. It is bottled at 40% ABV. It has had color added to it, and I'm also going to assume that it has been chill filtered. This has also been double cask matured, so they've used, I guess, traditional oak and sherry oak barrels, I guess, in the production of this release, and it has been aged for a minimum of 12 years old as well. So we've got a pretty nice age statement on that, and I guess let's get on with the review and let's see what we get. So, get my glass. Oh, nice cork pop. And let's pour. That should do it. Alright. Let's see what we get on the nose. Cheers. Okay, so surprisingly, it's got quite a spicy nose, and considering that it has only been bottled at 40%, it's quite powerful. It doesn't, just off the nose alone, it doesn't feel too watered down, but it's got a lot of character. So expect all those typical, I guess, like orchard fruit notes. You're getting apples, pears. There's a nice soft oakiness to it. It's got a very light mustiness to it as well. So I'm going along the lines of, I guess, damp cardboard, for want of better words. But I'm enjoying that sour apple note that's coming through. It's very similar to, I guess, stewed Granny Smith apples. Okay, yeah. There's a very light pepperiness that comes in. Caramelized sugar. This whiskey opens up surprisingly well. I think if you were to let the glass sit probably for about 10 to 15 minutes, I think you will get some nice flavors coming through as well. It will probably help to round out some of those spiky edges that it's getting. But so far so good. It's a very enjoyable nose, and like I said, very surprising considering that it is only 40%. Alright, let's get on with the palate and let's see what we get. Cheers. Okay, so the general mouthfeel isn't very inspiring. It's quite thin, but it does have a surprising kick to it that you wouldn't expect. Your initial sip will be quite light, but then it builds. It's quite dry. You get this nice, like, little alcohol tingle as well. But I think this is one of those whiskies where unfortunately the nose is better than the actual taste. But let's try and explore a bit more. Alright, so that wet cardboard musty note that I mentioned in the nosing is a lot more dominant on the palate, and those apple notes are a lot more subdued. It's not very sweet. It has a certain saltiness to it. So I guess if you're comparing it to, say, like food, for example, this is a lot more of like a savory whiskey than a sweet whiskey. It's got a certain earthiness to it as well. So I guess if you can imagine, I don't know, I'm not usually in the habit of chewing on leaves, but if you can imagine the taste of, I guess, forest litter. So by that I mean like your fallen like tree leaves and earth, like that kind of note. It's got a very light pepper note, but it's very. This is a very watered and muddied whiskey. There's nothing that kind of really stands out in it to wow you. I mean, it is not a horrible whiskey, but it is not great either. Um, the finish is surprisingly short to medium. It does linger quite well, but again, some of those more dominant musty notes are what is coming through. Um, like I said, this whiskey is probably good as like an entry point. It's got some nice simple flavors that someone new to whiskey will be able to pick out some fairly dominant notes in it. It's a good palate developer. Uh, but I guess coming from the perspective of somebody that's been drinking whiskey for some time now, and I have also been trying a lot of many different types of whiskies and different strengths and barrel types and all that kind of thing. This is not one that's amazing me. I think that it will probably go very well for mixing. So if you wanting to do some, I guess, basic whiskey cocktails, it will probably be more suited for that. But as an everyday sipper, I mean, it's okay. Um yeah, I don't really have much more to say about it. It's not really wowing me. I have to say the Aberlour is a lot better, but I'll have to do that review soon. I have got a bottle, but I haven't done the review yet, so I'll get around to doing that for you. But for now, I'm going to leave it at that. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for joining me and I guess experiencing my journey with me. If you're new to the channel, then please hit that bell notification and the subscription button so that you can stay up to date with all future contents. I guess for a lot of you newcomers, I have been focusing a lot on Australian spirits lately, so predominantly Australian whiskies, but I have also started to take a dive into Australian gin as well, and I will progress a bit more with rums and vodkas and things like that, but mostly focusing on the Australian side. So if you think that that's something that you're interested in, then like I said, hit that subscribe button. But for those of you who have tried the Aberlour 12 before, drop me a comment, let me know what you think of it, because I do like to get other people's opinions, and yeah, let me know what you think. Alright guys, I'll see you again on the next video. KIPPIS.